So we are back again with the questions. As I told you, I had so many questions. So I'll just go on with the questions. But you may also be asking, why Arsenal? Because there's nothing else. Arsenal always. Don't forget that. So we'll just get on to it. So we had already done quite a number of questions last time. So I just thought we could do a few more. Though they keep on increasing. I thought I would actually come to an end, but they'll always be there. So I'll probably be doing so many questions at different stages of videos. Now, the last question that so we'll just go on with the first question. So what's the most effective way to build and grow a client network in the early stages of a real estate career? So what's the most effective way to build and grow a client network in the early stages of a real estate career? So when you say early stages of a real estate career, I would imagine maybe the first year or maybe the second, if at all, of course, you started maybe a bit slowly on the first year. Yeah? Now, one thing that I've known has actually helped in actually building a network is actually networking events. They actually do work, and I think I mentioned this in the previous video. And actually generally local events that are actually happening within your area. Like right now, I believe in Nairobi, between this month and next month, we have so many events that are actually happening. Weekends, weekdays, evenings, they're so good. And that does not actually limit you to actually physical events. We have so many other things that are actually done online, including webinars, interactive sessions with people. That actually helps you really build your network. And at the same time, it actually gives you a bit more confidence in what you're actually doing. I hope I've answered the question as it was asked. This one is actually quite interesting, and it's something that has been asked so many times before by other agents, including experienced ones here. How can I make my real estate listings stand out in a crowded market? So of course, a lot of people are actually selling. We have quite a number of agents out there. How do we make your listing stand out? Now, to stand out, you really need to stand out. One, photography, quality, the quality of your pictures. You know, I want to see a property in such a good quality that I can see myself living in that area. I want to see a video that actually shows all the corners, everything clearly. You know, the quality really makes you stand out. And now the other thing, of course, other than actually photography and videography being of top quality, of course, even the captions. How do you describe that property? It has to be clear, precise, and it has to be straight to the point. Yeah, that is very important if you really need to actually stand out. And again, you have to be able to utilize all these platforms that you have available to you, which are actually free, from social media pages to websites, real estate websites that are actually available for you to actually post. They actually help. But of course, you have to get the quality right. That is how you'll actually be able to stand out. Next question here. What's the first step in creating a real estate marketing plan? What's the first step in creating a real estate marketing plan? Of course, you have to identify your target audience and understand their preferences. Yeah. So when you're actually creating your marketing plan, it's going to involve, of course, even the content that you're actually going to start creating. But you have to understand your audience. Yeah. When can you actually be able to share information and stuff that you actually have? When are they online? When do they read newspapers? When do they watch TV? When do they wake up? When are they working? When do they take their lunch breaks? When are they not very busy on their phone? So you have to understand your audience. Now, creating a marketing plan, it's not something that I might be able to actually explain it to you right now, but I have websites that can actually help you with that, creating a good marketing plan. And it's websites that I've actually used myself personally, and they actually work wonders. So for all those websites and more information about creating a marketing plan, I'll be able to actually share that with you through a link. I'm going to come up with a link, or maybe even come up with a video I'm going to actually tell you all that, but they are readily available on the internet and on YouTube. And before I actually even give you what I've actually been using, feel free to actually go to the internet. How to actually make how to actually make a good marketing plan. So now that one is something that you can do. But please remember, you have to understand your audience. Every person has a different audience. Yeah. So a marketing plan may not work. A certain marketing plan might not work for everybody. So understand your audience. Is social media really important for selling real estate? And if so, where should I focus my efforts? Is social media really important for selling real estate? And if so, where should I focus my efforts? Yes, social media is actually very important for selling your products in real estate. Yeah. Not only do you get to actually put yourself out there in terms of who you are, in terms of your knowledge that you have in real estate, because again, people must be able to actually trust you. They must be able to see you. They must be able to hear you. So before you actually sell them a product that you have, and that is just one. The second most important thing, of course, about social media is because it's the second most important thing about social media is that you're going to have your products out there. I will know that you're actually selling a certain house. I will know that you're actually selling a certain plot. But if you have that property that you're actually selling, or that service in real estate that you can actually offer, but you're not putting it in social media, I don't know about it. How will I come and actually buy about it? So you have to tell me about it. Be out there and use social media to your best advantage. Now, there was also, I think, the question was 2 parts, and where should I focus my efforts? Now, the best place to focus your effort on is of course, content. Content, and of course, content will come in terms of videos, like I am right now. I'm talking about real estate. Now, this is content. Yeah, that's one. The second kind of content that you're actually going to be sharing is pictures and videos of the properties that you're actually selling. So focus on that. Start there. Create content that will make people know about you and know who you are as a person, as a real estate agent, and of course, push the products that you actually have. How do I approach potential buyers without being too pushy? How do I approach potential buyers without being pushy? That's actually a very good question, and it happens a lot. Sometimes you might be just seated and you realize maybe you're in a certain setting where you need to actually talk to someone. Yeah, you don't know this person, maybe it's a stranger, you're in a networking event, but you want to engage that person in real estate. Yeah, in a way that you're not going to be selling to him. You don't just go and face someone and say, no, I have this property that I'm selling, I would want you to buy. No, you just get there. Hi, how are you doing? I hope the event is actually going well. Yeah, you get to know one another, you introduce yourself, what you do. Yeah, and most of the time, you'll realize once you have actually told even someone that this is what I do, I'm in real estate, they'll probably be curious to know what kind of properties that you're actually selling, or what exactly you do in real estate. And that way the conversation can actually start flowing. As long as you know what you're talking about, you know about real estate, just be informative. Give him information that he might want. He might not want to actually buy directly, but he might want to know some interesting thing about real estate. You can start with that. You can tell him about a certain statistics that you heard about real estate and the market trend, to the point that he's actually going to start having a great conversation, to the point now you're going to be able to tell him, I have this and this and this, and then you can move on from there. That way you're not being pushy, and you're not showing that person that the only thing that you want from him is the money. Can you share a simple strategy for negotiating real estate deals effectively? Now, when it comes to real estate deals, you have to come into the table knowing exactly what you want. What you want, you need to understand your bottom line. You have to understand your product. What are you selling? Yeah? You have to be able to create an agency for that product. So when you're coming into a real estate deal, you just have to come prepared. So if you're prepared, I can assure you the real estate deal will actually go your way. Another question that I found quite interesting, and which really has actually come up a lot, and it concerns actually a digital age that we are in. What's the role of a real estate agent in the digital age, and how can I adapt? What's the role of a real estate agent in the digital age, and how can I adapt? Now, one thing that we can really tell over time is that how we do sales in real estate have actually changed over time. Before, a while ago, it was more of word of mouth, to the extent of actually knocking on doors, going to the offices, and doing all those things to be able to actually push sales. But times have really passed over time. Technology has really come up, and we should be able to embrace it. Yeah, from social media to using of websites to doing all these things. Yeah? This includes TV and radio and podcast and all these things. You have to embrace it, because that is where we are in right now. So embrace that, and you're going to be safe. So the next question, how can I make the most of open houses to attract potential buyers? So open houses, for maybe those who might not know what that means. You might have a house that you're actually selling. So you plan on a certain day that guys can actually come and actually see the house, not actually one client, but a number of clients. So there's a way you have to actually set up that open house. And there's one thing that I found it funny at first, but once I actually used it in an apartment that I was selling, I realized it actually really, really worked. Apart from having the setting being so beautiful, being so lovely, clean the space, arrange the furniture, make sure we don't have any kind of marks on walls and things like that. The person who I got this information from actually baked muffins. Yeah, they baked muffins, and the whole apartment would just like smell so nice, so inviting. So when clients came, they almost felt like home. They could get hungry. They could actually envision themselves there having breakfast in that house. So that was one thing that I saw about it. But of course, make sure the apartment and the house is actually good. They're going to be okay. Now, any tips for creating an effective real estate email marketing campaign? Now, email marketing is one of the marketing strategies that have not been used so much, especially in real estate. Not actually in real estate, but in real estate in Kenya. It has not been used much. So I can tell that what I can tell you about it is that it's a very good strategy. It has not been tapped into very much in this country, but I've definitely started doing it, and it actually works. But of course, when it comes to email strategy, you have to understand how to actually do this. One, the email has to be catchy, from the subject line to the content that you actually have there. People don't have the time to actually read a whole article in an email. No. It has to be just the subject line, that to be very catchy, and then just a little caption, and then you have to have some very, very, very nice photos of the properties that you're actually selling. Something that, if at all I just open an email, it just catches my eye, and I feel like I need to know more about this. That's the only way that you can actually do it. But there's so many things that you should learn about email marketing that I cannot be able to answer right now. But everything, as I always say, is available for you for free in the internet. So you just go check it out, and I believe it's going to be of a lot of help. So how can I use local events and partnerships to boost my real estate business? That's interesting. Local events and partnerships. Now, those are actually the best places that you can actually boost your real estate products. Because I can tell you, if at all you are going to be selling a product in a certain town, yeah, the first customers, or what do we call them, the fruits, the lowest hanging fruits, are the people who actually know the town. So you need to actually interact with them. Go to the local events, yeah, visit the marketplaces where they actually are. Community holdings. Yeah, there's all these things that you can do locally, and you'll realize that they're going to be very fast. They're going to be appreciative of the information that you're giving, because they already know the town, they love the town, they live in the town, they work in the town. So they might as well just build a house in the town. So that one might actually help. What's the importance of networking in the real estate industry? and how can I get started. Now, at first, when I started doing networking, when I started actually attending networking events, at first, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted from these networking events. But from the first time that I did, I can tell you I've known so many people, I've made so many connections, including some connections that I'm actually using right now to actually make money off from the products that I'm actually selling. Only through networking. You just go to an event, you meet someone, you share details, you realize you have so much in common, and there's so much you're going to be able to build from there. Now, one thing I can tell you, in Nairobi, there's always a networking event every 2 weeks. That one I can guarantee you. There might even be more. I'm not sure. But every 2 weeks, there's always a networking event that is actually happening. So you just need to get to your phone, Google these things, search, get to know people. The first event that you'll actually go to, make sure they give you information about the next events that are actually happening. You'll realize within a very short period of time, you have actually gotten to know so many people. So networking is very important. I still do it now. I'm not going to stop. Yeah, and it's not only in Nairobi. If at all you get a chance, in other towns, we still have networking events. So get on with that, yeah? And they're also online, as you know. So can you recommend an easy-to-use tool for organizing real estate leads and managing client relationships? So can you recommend an easy-to-use tool for organizing real estate leads and managing client relationship? Now, for me, the kind of, it's basically a CRM. The ones that I've been able to use and have actually helped are actually two. Of course, there's so many out there that you can actually use. One of them is HubSpot, which has actually helped me a lot. I've also used Zoho, especially for social media. That has actually helped me a lot as well, yeah? But there's so many others that you can be able to use. So you can research on that. You can actually start with what maybe I might be using right now because it actually works. But in time, you'll get to realize there's so many others. Some are free, some are paid for, that can actually help. How do I stay informed about local real estate market trends and property values? You need to read. You need to get in touch with things that are currently happening. Yeah, I know most of you might not even love the news, but once in a while, make sure you read the news. You'll understand things that are actually happening, policies that are being made as we speak in the real estate. So you read the newspapers, read Business Daily. That's a very good newspaper that tells you a lot about the business world and even the real estate world. Yeah. Also, in your social media platforms, follow people and follow companies that actually give out this information. Yeah, and you're going to realize you know so much just by reading. So take your time every day, some 10-15 minutes, get to understand what is actually happening in the world. Yeah. Is it essential to have a real estate niche, and how do I choose one? As I had mentioned earlier, it's so important to have a niche. You cannot decide you're going to be selling to everyone any kind of product that you have. Yeah, in real estate, you have to decide this is where I want to this is where I want to put my focus on. I want to be selling houses. I'm going to be selling houses that are between this range and this range. I want to be selling plots that are between this price and this price. That way, you can be able to actually even know who your audience is and how you are actually going to market to them and how you are going to actually reach out to them. So having a niche is very, very, very important. And how you create a niche, of course, you start by looking at where your successes have been. Yeah? If at all you have been very successful in marketing a certain product, that means that product will help you create a niche around it. So just look at what you have been doing before. There's areas that you have had success, there's areas that you have not had success. So where you have had success is where you feel like you might actually be good at. So that's a good place to start. Oh, again, about the legal aspects of real estate. How do I handle the paperwork and legal aspects? As I had said, don't handle them. Yeah, don't handle them, but it's important to actually have that knowledge about the legal aspects about a transaction. Yeah, have a legal, a real estate lawyer handle all those things, and you're going to come out winning, because chances of you making a mistake might be higher, and you're going to end up losing on the whole transaction, and of course losing confidence with your client. Can you recommend a beginner-friendly real estate marketing book or resource? Can you recommend a beginner-friendly real estate marketing book or resource? Now, there's a writer called Chris Scott, a very good writer, and he talked about real estate. It was, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was a beginner's guide to real estate. I think so, but you'll of course check on that. But I remember the writer was called Chris Scott. He talked so much about real estate, and as a beginner, I am sure you're going to learn so much from that, yeah? So you go read that book. There's so many resources that you can actually go through. And what I can be doing, now that I know you need all these resources, I can be telling you what I'm reading, yeah? Every time I get a chance, I tell you what I'm reading and the points that I actually get. So reading all these books are very good.